My name is Bionic Bunny, not to be confused with Deja Gore. I like to make lists and overshare. Today we will be doing both. This TED Talk is going to be about that one time I almost died. I will also be reviewing Face to Face, The Art of Human Connection by Brian Grazer. Now, in fairness, you may be wondering, Bionic Bunny, how in the fuck do these two things tie together? You may need to calm the fuck down and wait because I'm going to tie them together. You may be wondering why I feel compelled to tell you about how I almost died. The talent jumped out. I have this habit of hoarding stories in order to save my reputation. I have this problem where I feel like there's gonna be this perfect moment in my life to share stories that are personal to me. Like I'll finally have reached this pinnacle of success where telling the truth about a lot of the dumb shit I've done will be fine. It'll be courageous instead of people being like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? That point in time, I really don't think it exists. I think that as a storyteller, it's my obligation each day and in the moment to be as honest as possible and to do my part in my service to the world by sharing stories that I think could help others. And I promise you, I will get to reviewing this book. I promise, everything will tie together. I will not forget Scout's honor. I promise. So we'll start here. Bionic Bunny, not Deja Gore, had a very, very serious drinking problem. It was not like I drink every day, I'm an alcoholic, it's leaking out of my pores, except it kind of was leaking out of my pores sometimes. My problem was more so a dependency. I think a lot of Americans have an alcohol dependency, but it is so common that nobody views it as that. This is not to subtract from my accountability. I'm literally just saying it was very hard for me to recognize that I had a problem because I think all of us kind of do a little bit. Yeah, I had a bit of a dependency, and we'll make another list. How about that? We'll make another list. I'm gonna pray that you can read that, and I'm also probably just gonna zoom in because that's the power of technology. Social anxiety. Didn't know that I had it because I was drunk all the time. So I would pregame before I go to the pregame, as in I would get drunk alone before I go get drunk with other people to go to the party. Our options here are to talk to strangers or dance with strangers. I don't really want to do either. And so I would just get drunk, and I just didn't think that that was a problem. I would literally say out loud to people like, yes, you do have to get drunk to have fun. And I meant it like with my chest, and nobody would be like, hey, that kind of means that you hate your life. Like it was just, I don't know. I did not realize that by needing to get drunk to enjoy people, I was kind of saying I hate it here. The connection was just not happening. That kind of leads me to point number 2. Yeah, we're gonna zoom in on that cat scratch as well, but general boredom. It was just like everything was a whatever thing. And so like if people invited me out, I would just be like, okay, yeah. Will there be drinks? Yeah. The other thing was like, it's not a party if there's not alcohol. Like, if I went to somebody's party and there was no alcohol here, I'll be like, is this a fucking church fellowship? Because it's like, how is this fun if we're not drunk for it? And I didn't realize that by needing to fade into oblivion to say something was enjoyable, I was literally saying, this is not enjoyable. But yes, so that was the thing. Whenever I would have to be in social settings with no organized activity, I would get drunk. One of my friends from high school is getting married, so I'm driving down from Fairfax to Richmond to be there for the wedding. At this point in my life, I feel like a vegetable, maybe a cloud, maybe white noise in the background of day and night. I don't know, but I don't feel like a person. I'm just kind of floating through life, like, I guess. And I'm also dedicated to not drinking. I was just like so out of my mind that I was like, I can't drink anymore because it's making me even sadder. Like, this is just fucking distracting, right? However, I know myself. It's the weekend. I'm going to my hometown. I'm probably going to slip up. So this is my logic because I really want to stop. If I don't eat, I can't drink. This is very simple logic. It will work, right? Wrong. Anyone from the 804 who might happen to stumble upon this video knows of Margarita's Cantina, the gym of Shockoe Bottom, where you will run into your cousin, your ex-nigga, your brother, and that one nigga from preschool, right? So silly of me to think that I would walk in and out of that establishment sober. Long story short, when I came to consciousness, mind you, I say came to consciousness as in like back to earth, but like I'm thinking maybe my eyes are closed because all I'm seeing is black, right? And there's just like an Uber driver in my ear. I know he was an Uber driver because his passengers were like behind him yelling that they wanted to leave and he just needs to leave me. But there's like this driver, he's yelling in my ear like, are you good? Are you awake? Are you okay? And I'm just like, yeah, because I can hear him, like, you know. I hear them leave. I come to consciousness. I open my eyes finally. I see airbag. I see white dust. I see glass. I see the hood of my car is just bent up and there is like dark smoke just everywhere. And I look to my right and I see the guy and the people that were talking, like I see them getting back in his truck. And then I notice that I'm not looking at them through a window. The whole entire side of my car is gone, nigga. Like gone. Like there is no door here. And that's when I realized I crashed. Like I crashed my car. Like I was unconscious and crashed my car. Everything's coming together and I'm like, oh my God. I'm still so drunk, but the shock of it has me on earth as much as I guess I need to be. So I'm just looking at this car just outside and I see that I smashed into a guardrail and there's like a ditch in the forest right there. This car is completely fucked. And I'm just sitting here in a drunken state, but the only thing that I can think of is like, God put me back. Like I was put back on earth. Like there was just this overwhelming feeling that like I had like sat face to face with God and it was like, I know for a fact that if I put you back on earth, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to put you back. That's how I felt. Like I didn't like beyond the shock and everything else. I just felt overwhelmed with gratitude and purpose, even in a drunken state. It was the weirdest thing. So I like whatever. So the police come and of course they make me do all the tests, but I'm like, dude, can you literally just arrest me? I am drunk. Like this car in the background is not a good alibi. I'm actually shook. Please just arrest me. Like, let's just go. So yeah, I get arrested, of course. I go to fucking jail. It's not my first time in jail on some drunk shit, unfortunately. However, do not get trigger happy looking for multiple mugshots. You will only find one, I think. That lady was really trying to get me together for my picture. She was like, oh, you're so pretty. Like, fix your face. You know you're going to be in the paper. I was like, for those who are not from the 804 who may have stumbled across this video, first I would like to say hello. Second of all, by the paper, allow me to explain what this lady working at jail meant. The paper that she is referring to is the gotcha paper. The section that shows everybody who was charged with the crime overnight, their name, their mugshot. But it was just like, I'm drunk, I almost died. There's a wedding in like 8 hours that I'm not gonna make it to. Please just take my picture. I have to take that fucking breathalyzer. If you blow a 0.15, you have to do a mandatory 10 days in jail. Nigga, I blew a 0.14. I just, whatever. So, oh, another thing, I passed my phone off to somebody else at some point in the night. So it's not like somebody can just find my location. Like niggas have no idea where the fuck I'm at. My sister, knowing that I'm a hot mess, thinks to call the jail. And she finds me there and she comes to get me at like 6 p.m. the next day. So I definitely missed that fucking wedding. Not that I was in a rush to do anything, seeing as how I had almost died right quick. So that's the story of how I almost died right quick. So getting discharged definitely changed a lot of shit for me. It was a rough year, 2017 through 2018, just a year full of court fees and legal fees and AA meetings and breathalyzers and piss tests and just like bullshit. It's just like endless. Honestly, I really don't even have the energy to go into all of that shit right now. It was really some bullshit. I was accountable though. Like, this is what I will say. I'm talking about it like, oh, it was so annoying. But at the time I was just like, you did it. You got to suck it up. You got to do what you got to do. I had to sit with things. I couldn't dunk it in alcohol anymore. And by having a restricted license, I couldn't sprinkle friends on top. I really started trying to depend on God more because I realized that God really had a plan for me. God really saved me. God has an intention with me, and God is trying to talk to me and take me somewhere. And I reached this point where I just felt like maybe humans were a little too loud. I felt like I had wasted so much of my time just sleepwalking and settling with reality, and trying to pour alcohol and just friends on things instead of really focusing and realizing that Earth is not just like a jail sentence and just time we serve and just flicking your clit and going to the club and dying. Like, there's actually something that I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, I have a reason, you know what I mean? And that reason is so strong that a car crash where my eyes are closed can't even take me out. It can't even take my limbs. I'm supposed to be doing something, you know? And so with that in that year, things that made me unhappy made me intensely unhappy. I got this breathalyzer on my car. I have a restricted license. All I can do is go to work and home. I have to blow in this fucking thing to even start my car. I'm hoping nobody sees me when I'm in parking lots going woo, so my car will start. We'll go deeper into the details of that maybe someday, maybe in my fucking memoirs. I don't really have the energy for that shit right now, but I hated my fucking job. That was the big thing. I hated my fucking job. I worked front desk at a law firm. I was a fucking secretary. I hated my job so much that when people asked me like, what do you do? I would be like, it's complicated. It wasn't. I was a secretary at a law firm, and I was just like, I have to fucking quit this place. I was going crazy about it. I would just take walks and just like fucking hyperventilate. And one day I went so crazy that I did this weird thing called DMing a celebrity as if they're gonna DM me back. I DM'd Michaela Cole while I was outside on a walk just fucking fuming. And in short, I wish I had the screenshot. I'm gonna do some digging and see if I can find it. And I was like, basically, hey, I don't know why I'm DMing you. I don't know why people DM celebrities. It's so fucking stupid, but I'm just going crazy because all I want to do with my life is write. And it just seems like there's this magic portal into the writing world that I can't seem to find. And I just feel stuck in Virginia at this stupid ass 9 to 5 and I don't know what to do. And I'm just rambling. Just don't even ever mind me, but I love your work and you're amazing. Thanks for being you. Bye. In short, she DM'd me and told me that I needed to get a shittier job, that we know as writers that we're gonna lead broke lives until like something shakes, and that we all know that we have to jump for the net to appear. And then she concluded with, but what do I know? I'm just a hoe. Southerners don't quit at anything. They keep the same friends. They keep the same job. They don't divorce. It's just like you start with what you end with. So me saying like, I wanna quit my job is like, you're a lazy bum. Like, that's just it. There's no really discussing it. It's just like, what did you think you were just gonna graduate college and just live this fairy tale creative life? It's like a fucking joke, like seriously. So, yeah, I wrote in my journal that I was gonna quit my job by June 1st, 2018. I wrote this at the beginning of May. By the second week of May, of course, I had completely punked out of this plan, but on May 30th, 2018, my boss laid me off. I did not say fired, I did say laid off. There was an attorney there that walked out the door with like a $300,000 book, and so they had to make cuts. So of course it made sense to like get rid of the secretary first. But for me, he was just sitting there talking about he has to let me go and he's so apologetic. And I'm just sitting here like, I can leave. I had already had a trip planned to Cabo. So I got fired on May 30th and I went to Cabo on May 31st. I didn't tell anybody I got fired. I just went on vacation and I just fucking enjoyed myself. I don't know, I was just in Cabo, very relaxed. And I remember just like thinking to God, like, I was on an ATV, so I was just looking at the landscape and there was the water and there was the mountains and there were palm trees, and I was just like, you created all of this and you created me and you created all of this for me to enjoy it, you know what I mean? And so that means that you want me to enjoy life. You don't want me to be like sad and miserable and only having a good time when I can like afford to escape. Like, life is supposed to feel good every moment. I can do this every day. I don't have to, like, I can feel like this all the time. And so my mission when I got back from vacation was not to put my pieces back together again and continue on the way that I was before. I was like, this is a fresh start. Like, this is a clean slate. And a lot of people don't get that. People don't all just get clean slates and a chance to just start fresh and start over. And so it became for me like, I cannot ruin this blank canvas. Like, I can't ruin this blank canvas. Like, everything that I put on this canvas this time is going to be very, very detailed and strategic and intentional. And it's all gonna make one big picture that makes sense in the end. And everybody won't have to understand every single stroke that I'm adding, but it'll make sense to me. And in the end, they'll get it. And don't even look over my shoulder while I'm painting, because you're gonna get it later. Like, I knew that I had a fresh start, and that meant everything to me. And when I got back from vacation, I just dedicated my life in my mind to making a move to LA. Got a job as a server because, like, most establishments only care about if you can, like, smile and pick up a checkbook on time. But the thing about, like, having an assurance from God is that when nothing makes sense and you're, like, hungry and tired and it feels like it should be the worst point in your life, there's this just strange glimmer of hope telling you just stay exactly where you are and something's gonna happen. I don't have formal training, but I'm a great fucking storyteller, and all I care about is growth, and I'm never gonna stop writing, so you might as well just give me what the fuck I want. That was basically my pitch to them. And so it worked. We are rolling up on this book review, I promise. So we're gonna fast forward to day one of Imagine Impact. A hopeful bionic bunny, Deja Gore, okay, a hopeful me walks into the room, and instantly I realized that all of these people have something that I do not. Qualifications. By that I mean agents, screenwriting degrees, writing credits, any actual knowledge of how this shit works, you know? And so I'm kind of sitting there like, oh fuck, these people know what they're doing. Shit. Like, they're talking about hitting up their different connections and all this stuff. And I'm like, nigga, connections? I live here and I ain't got no fucking connections. Like, what is this? Oh my God. What the fuck am I about to do? What am I? This is terrifying. Like, all of my confidence is out of the window because these people have qualifications, okay? We're right at the part where I connect everything. Everything's gonna make sense right at this moment. All right, boom. It's a panel day. Our first panelist, and he gives us a wonderful panel where he shares anecdotes of his personal journey. And for me, a woman who has just gotten into a writing program that is trembling and feeling a little naive and in over her head, to hear his perspective and his journey brought my shoulders, like, from my hairline back down to their rightful place. I think that human beings that place faith and feeling above, like, sight and reality are few and far between. And so to hear this, like, dynamic individual talk about how they have really, like, prided themselves on using intuition above what would make sense was very reassuring to me, because I'm someone who does the same thing, and there's just not a lot of people that will really understand that. It's okay to do that, and that is a valid form of decision making. And so I was just, like, so grateful for that. But so I don't know, I left it just, like, feeling so much better. I felt like I'm about to fucking kill this program. I'm supposed to be here. That was all I needed. I'm like, I'm about to murk this shit. I get in my car and I look at my phone, of course, like, to, like, put my maps in or whatever. And I see the date on my phone and I gag, bitch, because guess what the date is? Guess what day it was? Guess what day it was? Completely just like, what? Because it just, I don't know, I just felt like this sense of just, like, I just felt like I don't know, I was just so proud of myself. And I was just like, the things that I dream about and the things that I think and the things that I like think are gonna happen for me are really real, because all I wanted to do this time 2 years ago was turn my narrative around, get my shit together, and like really just be who I actually am, come into my skin again of like, you're a writer, you've always been that, you're not just this like frolicking drunk bitch. And like in a matter of 2 years exactly, I had completely spun my narrative around, like I actually did it, you know? It was just a moment for me. Like that speech played such a huge part in my confidence that I was just like, I need to know more about this man because he has gems and I need them all. Face to Face, The Art of Human Connection by Brian Grazer. This is an autobiographical novel, basically where he shares how a lot of the conversations that he's had with celebrities and icons of today are actually what sprouted some of his greatest ideas. And so what I liked most about this book is that it's just a humongous flex. It'll be like, a chapter will begin like, yeah, Oprah invited me over for breakfast and I was buttering a scone when I got the idea for Boomerang. I was having tea with Meghan Markle every chapter is that. And so I just appreciate like luxury and flexing. It's a great time for me. And I love the way he did it artfully. I can truly appreciate that. The chapter that really like hit me and made me like, whoa, was when he talks about the process of getting American Gangster done, because that was an act of pure resilience. And we don't necessarily think about how like tooth and nail someone had to fight to get Denzel on our screens. We just assume like, you pitched this movie and this sold instantly and this was just easy and they coughed up the bread and it just was what it was. But it was a lot of people telling him no, and this is a terrible idea, and him thinking in the shower about how he was gonna make this work, and you know, him having to like get rid of some people and add some people to the project, and it wasn't like easy, like he had to make some really tough choices. And that's what led me to the second thing that I took away from this book, how crucial it is to believe in your ideas with like all of your heart, because getting an idea to like screen or print or just to like the finished product to where it's then distributed to the world, it is such a long process, and it really requires like fuel, and that fuel has to be your faith in it, and nobody else can cough that up for you as a creator. Bowfinger was something that he felt like was so good and didn't get the credit that it deserves. And it's like, that spoke to me as well, as far as everybody's not gonna agree with what you create. I'm gonna have times where I think something that I make is so genius and people don't agree with me. The world's not always gonna agree, but I still have to stick to what I think and what I know. And it was cool to kind of see how he still thinks Bowfinger is like that girl, even if other people don't agree, because that doesn't change the quality. Other people's perception does not change the quality of what you created. But yeah, that's what I took away from it. So 3 points so far. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. This is whatever. What was really important for me from this book is that interaction is a very crucial part of storytelling. After coming out of that former situation, that accident that we've talked about, and coming into just this state of solitude, and then getting the opportunity to be in a program like Imagine Impact and write and become better. It was great that I read Face to Face at that time, because I was really starting to kind of retreat from people and feel like, you know, as a writer, I just want to hear myself and create worlds and stay away from the world completely. But reading Face to Face reminded me that a huge part of creation is interaction. Everything that I conceptualize is from experience or what I've seen or things that I've felt. And what makes me such a good creator is that I listen and that I pay attention. I see things, my eyes are open to them, and I listen to others. And so I really can't be a good creator if I become closed off or cold-hearted, or if I shut the world out. And so reading this book, where his best ideas came from listening to others and actually paying attention to others, reminded me that I have to do that, and that's crucial. And that's just the person that I am too, and I can't change who I am as a safeguard, because that's not living. Yeah, I guess the last thing that I walked away with is that conversation is an art, and it opens the door to like a world of love and information and stories and sharing. It's a weird year. I hope that you're keeping your head up in the midst of all of this 2020 mess. And, you know, I hope that your perspective on everything is very positive, just because your perspective on what's happening in your life could change your whole life. And that's all I got. That's all I got. This was a sermon. This was beyond a list oversharing book review / TED Talk. My God, that Bionic Bunny, she be talking. Don't confuse her with Deja.